First contact crisis. The red light of Proxima Centauri painted long shadows across New Horizons' central plaza as Commander Elena Reyes completed her morning inspection. 5 years since humanity's first interstellar colony had been established, and she still felt the weight of responsibility with each step. 10,000 souls under her protection, 20 light-years from Earth, making humanity's first real claim to the stars. "Morning report, Vance," she asked, accepting a datapad from her executive officer. Lieutenant Vance Chen swiped through several screens. Agricultural domes at 93% efficiency. Water reclamation handling load perfectly. The new communications relay is online. We've cut transmission delay to Earth by almost 40%. Elena nodded, satisfaction warming her chest. New Horizon represented humanity's greatest achievement. Proof that despite all odds, humans could thrive beyond their home system. The colony sparkled with purpose, a testament to human ingenuity, with its geodesic habitat domes and terraforming arrays slowly transforming the alien landscape into something that might, generations from now, resemble Earth. "And the anomaly?" she asked, her voice dropping. Vance's expression tightened. "Still there, growing stronger. Dr. Okonkwo says the energy signature doesn't match anything in our databases." The anomaly had appeared 3 days ago, a strange distortion in space-time at the edge of their system. The science team was fascinated. Elena was concerned. Humanity had yet to encounter another intelligent species in their exploration of nearby stars, but she'd always believed it wasn't a matter of if, but when. "Tell Okonkwo to prioritize defensive scans. I want to know if that thing poses any threat to the colony." "You think it's artificial?" Vance asked, eyebrows raised. "I think we're not alone out here," Elena replied. "And I'm not taking any chances with 10,000 lives." Later that afternoon, as she reviewed construction plans for the colony's expansion, her comm unit erupted with urgent beeping. Dr. Okonkwo's voice came through, breathless with excitement or fear. "Commander, the anomaly. It's opening. Multiple objects emerging." Elena abandoned her desk immediately. "Alert status. Get me visual." The command center was already in motion when she arrived. Holographic displays showing a terrifying sight. The anomaly had expanded into a swirling vortex, and emerging from it were dozens of spacecraft, their design utterly alien, all sharp angles and asymmetric protrusions, gleaming with an iridescent material that seemed to absorb and reflect light simultaneously. "First contact," someone whispered. "Are they broadcasting?" Elena demanded, her military training taking over. "Nothing we can decode," Communications Officer Park replied. "But they're accelerating toward the colony." Elena made her decision instantly. "Send the first contact protocol package on all frequencies, and bring our defense systems online." "Ma'am, they're not slowing down," Tactical Officer Rodriguez reported, voice steady despite the tension. "Evacuate the outer habitats," Elena ordered. "Move all civilians to the central dome." The next 20 minutes were a blur of activity as the colony prepared for an encounter humanity had long theorized about but never experienced. Elena hoped for peace but prepared for the worst. Her years in Earth's United Defense Force had taught her that hope was not a strategy. The aliens made their intentions clear before any communication could be established. The lead vessel fired what appeared to be a focused energy weapon, slicing through the colony's orbital satellite network with terrifying precision. "They're attacking," Rodriguez confirmed unnecessarily as alarms blared throughout the command center. Elena's training took over. "Launch interceptors. Priority is colony defense. Get me a direct line to Earth. They need to know what's happening here." But it was immediately clear that New Horizons' defensive capabilities were hopelessly outmatched. The alien vessels moved with impossible speed, their weapons cutting through the colony's shields as if they weren't there. Within minutes, the agricultural domes were breached, atmosphere venting into the thin Proxima atmosphere. Casualties reported in sectors 7 through 12. Vance reported grimly. Medical teams can't keep up. Elena faced the most difficult decision of her career. Initiate Protocol Exodus. We need to evacuate as many people as possible. Protocol Exodus was the colony's last resort, using the 3 colony transport ships to evacuate civilians back toward Earth in case of catastrophic failure. It had never been intended for use during an attack. The transports won't outrun those ships, Vance said quietly. No, Elena agreed. Not unless someone draws their attention elsewhere. Understanding dawned in Vance's eyes. Commander, no, we still have the prototype. She cut him off. The prototype was an experimental vessel equipped with the latest propulsion technology, designed for rapid response and high maneuverability. I can buy the transport's time to escape. That's a suicide mission. Elena's gaze hardened. I'm not asking for volunteers, Lieutenant. Get those transports loaded and ready for launch. That's an order. The evacuation was chaotic, but efficient. Years of drills finally paying off when they mattered most. Elena oversaw the loading personally, making sure the colony's databanks were safely transferred. Humanity might lose New Horizon today, but they wouldn't lose the knowledge they'd gained here. As the last transport prepared for launch, Elena gripped Vance's shoulder. Tell Earth everything we've learned. Make sure they're ready. There has to be another way, he insisted. She shook her head. The prototype can distract them long enough for the transports to reach the jump point. Someone has to fly it. It should be me. It needs to be me, Elena countered. I know every capability of that ship. Besides, the colony will need leadership when they reach safety. Before he could argue further, she pressed the colony's command codes into his hand. Lieutenant Chen, you are now acting commander of what remains of New Horizon. Get our people home. The prototype ship hummed with power as Elena strapped herself in. Its neural interface connected directly to her mind, allowing her to fly by thought alone. Humanity's most advanced technology, now to be used as a desperate diversion. Transports away, came the confirmation over her comm. Acknowledged, Elena replied, feeling strangely calm. Beginning diversion run. She launched the prototype directly toward the alien fleet, pushing its experimental engines beyond safety parameters. The neural interface flooded her consciousness with data, shield strength, weapon status, structural integrity, all represented as intuitive sensations rather than numbers. The alien vessels immediately took notice, several breaking off to pursue. Elena smiled grimly. The plan was working. Come on then, she whispered. Let's see how you handle a human who's got nothing left to lose. What followed was a desperate dance through the outer edges of the Proxima Centauri system. Elena pushed the prototype to its limits and beyond, using the gas giant's gravity to slingshot around, diving through rings of debris, forcing her pursuers into ever more dangerous maneuvers. The alien ships were powerful, but surprisingly inflexible in their tactics. Where they had superior firepower, Elena countered with unpredictability. Where they had advanced technology, she responded with innovative uses of her limited resources. Transports have reached the jump point. Vance's voice came through, crackling with interference. They're preparing for FTL. Then my job here is done, Elena replied calmly, even as warning lights flashed across her neural interface. The prototype couldn't take much more punishment. Commander, Elena, Vance's voice broke slightly. It's been an honor. The honor was mine, Vance. Now go, make sure Earth is ready for them. As the last transport disappeared into FTL, Elena turned the prototype toward the heart of the alien fleet. If she was going down, she'd take as many of them with her as possible. The neural interface flashed warnings as the prototype's reactor approached critical overload. Elena ignored them, plotting a collision course with what appeared to be the alien command ship. For New Horizon, she whispered, as the prototype accelerated to its maximum velocity. The impact never came. Instead, mere seconds before collision, the prototype was enveloped in a strange energy field that froze it in place, Alina felt the neural interface go dead as her ship was drawn into the massive alien vessel. In the darkness of her powerless ship, as alien atmospherics hissed around the hull, Alina Rice faced the realization that her sacrifice might not be the clean ending she'd expected. Something worse might await her, and through her, humanity might face an even greater threat. But as the prototype's hatch was forced open and alien figures silhouetted themselves against bright light, Alina straightened her spine. They had underestimated humans once today. She would make sure they regretted doing so again. On board the Corvin command vessel, First Observer Ket Rall watched the captured human with fascination. The creature was smaller than expected, evidently fragile, yet it had demonstrated astonishing resourcefulness in its desperate flight. Remarkable adaptation, he commented to Ship Commander Vostor. Did you observe how it used our pursuit momentum against us? 3 hunting vessels lost to simple celestial mechanics because we failed to anticipate such recklessness. Primitive desperation, Vostor dismissed. Nothing more. Their colony fell within hours. Their technology is centuries behind ours. The collective will absorb whatever is useful and discard the rest. Ket Rall was not convinced. I have studied the transmissions we intercepted. These humans send their fragile bodies into hostile environments willingly. They thrive on conflict and adaptation. The collective may have misjudged them. The collective does not misjudge, Vostor said sharply. The expansion continues as planned. 3 transport vessels escaped, yes, but they will lead us directly to the human homeworld. 1 planet, isolated and primitive. It will fall like all the others. Ket Rall turned his attention back to the human female now being escorted to containment. There was something in its bearing, a defiance that should have been impossible for a being facing such overwhelming technological superiority. Perhaps, he said softly, but I recommend caution. I believe these humans may yet surprise us. The human response. Dr. Thomas Chen couldn't tear his eyes away from the holographic simulation playing out before him. The attack on New Horizon replayed in precise detail, reconstructed from the transport ship's sensor data that had arrived 3 weeks ago along with the survivors. 10,000 colonists reduced to fewer than 3,000 survivors, and his sister Alina presumed dead after her heroic diversion. Run it again, he ordered the AI. Focus on their weapons systems. The laboratory deep beneath Earth's Himalayan defense complex hummed with activity as humanity's brightest minds worked frantically to develop countermeasures against the alien threat. The Corvin Collective, they now knew from the data packets Alina had managed to extract during her last stand. Dr. Chen, a voice interrupted. General Sofia Alvarez, Supreme Commander of Earth's United Defense Force, approached with quick, purposeful strides. Tell me you have something. Thomas gestured to the simulation. Their technology operates on principles we've theorized but never successfully implemented. Their hulls use a form of metamaterial that can absorb energy and redistribute it. Their weapons harness dark energy in ways we've only dreamed about. I don't need a physics lesson, Doctor, Alvarez cut in. I need weapons that can stop them. That's just it, Thomas replied, eyes gleaming with the excitement of discovery, despite the dire circumstances. We can't match their technology yet, but we might be able to disrupt it. He manipulated the holographic controls, zooming in on one of the Corvin ships. See these energy signatures. Their systems are perfectly calibrated, too perfect. There's no redundancy, no adaptation for unexpected interference. It's elegant but brittle. Meaning they've evolved their technology along a single path for so long that they've lost the ability to adapt quickly. We can use that against them. Alvarez's expression remained skeptical. The fleet will reach our outer system defenses within days. Tell me exactly what you're proposing. A reverse-engineered version of their own energy manipulation technology, but deliberately imperfect, chaotic in a way they won't anticipate. We can't match their power, but we can disrupt their systems, create technological noise that their precision-engineered systems can't filter out. The general studied the simulations. How quickly can you have a prototype? The first disruptor beams are already being installed on our defense platforms. But General, Thomas hesitated. They won't stop the Corvins, only slow them down. We need more time. Time is the one thing we don't have, Doctor, Alvarez replied grimly. Make your disruptors work. Earth is counting on you. As Alvarez departed, Thomas returned to his simulations with renewed determination. His sister had bought the colony transport's time to escape with her sacrifice. Now it was his turn to protect what remained of humanity. 3 days later, the Corvin fleet entered the solar system, bypassing the outer planets with contemptuous ease. Earth's early warning systems tracked their approach as humanity prepared for what might be its final stand. The moon base, humanity's most advanced military installation, was the first to engage the alien fleet. Disruptor beams lanced out, not attempting to destroy the Corvin vessels, but instead bathing them in chaotic energy patterns designed to interfere with their systems. From his command post in the Himalayan complex, Thomas watched the data stream in with bated breath. For several agonizing moments, nothing seemed to happen. Then, "It's working," exclaimed his assistant. "Their shields are fluctuating." The disruptor technology wasn't enough to stop the Corvins, but it slowed their advance, forced them to adapt their approach. What should have been a swift conquest became a grinding battle as they pushed toward Earth. "They're changing formation," noted General Alvarez, who had joined Thomas at the command center. "Adapting already." "Yes, but look how they're doing it." Thomas pointed to the tactical display. "They're falling back on standardized protocols. Textbook responses. There's no innovation there." It was a critical insight. The Corvins had superior technology, but lacked the human capacity for improvisation under pressure. Each time the aliens adapted to one disruptor frequency, Earth's defenders changed tactics, forcing them to adapt again and again. The battle for Earth's orbit lasted 27 hours. The moon base fell. 3 of Earth's 7 orbital defense platforms were destroyed, but the Corvin fleet suffered losses too, unprecedented in their long history of conquest. "They're regrouping," Alvarez announced grimly, preparing for a final push. Thomas studied the tactical display, an idea forming. "General, I need direct access to the remaining defense platforms." "Why?" "Because I think I know how my sister survived, and how we can use the same principle against them." The revelation had come to him while studying the final moments of Elena's recorded battle. Her prototype ship hadn't been destroyed on impact, it had been captured. The Corvins didn't destroy technology they could study and absorb. "They're technological scavengers," Thomas explained. "They don't innovate, they assimilate, and that gives us an opening." His plan was audacious. Reconfigure the remaining defense platforms to appear vulnerable, deliberately exposing what would seem like critical systems. When the Corvins attempted to capture rather than destroy them, the platforms would deliver a payload directly into the alien vessels, not explosives, but an adaptive virus designed to corrupt their perfect systems with unpredictable human chaos. As the Corvin fleet began its final approach, Earth held its breath. The defense platforms presented tempting targets, their shields seemingly failing at critical junctures. One by one, the alien vessels extended their capture fields instead of firing their weapons. "They're taking the bait," Alvarez whispered. The virus payload deployed, spreading through the Corvin fleet's networked systems. Alien vessels began to drift, their perfect synchronization shattered by cascading system failures. In the confusion that followed, Earth's remaining military forces launched a desperate counterattack. Fighter squadrons deployed from hidden bases on Mars and Europa, targeting the now vulnerable alien ships with conventional weapons. "We've got them on the defensive," Alvarez announced, a note of cautious hope in her voice. "But they're still dangerous." Indeed, even damaged and disoriented, the Corvin technology remained formidable. The battle raged across Earth's orbit, casualties mounting on both sides. Then, without warning, a new signal appeared on the tactical display. Unknown vessel approaching from the outer system, reported a technician. It appears to be using Corvin drive technology, but the signature is modified. Thomas felt his heart stop. Can you get visual confirmation? The display shifted, showing a vessel that was unmistakably Corvin in origin, but modified. Human adaptations clearly visible even to the untrained eye. This is Commander Elena Reyes of the Earth vessel Phoenix, requesting authentication and approach vectors, came a familiar voice over the comm system. Elena, Thomas breathed, tears welling in his eyes. The story came out quickly as Elena's captured and repurposed Corvin scout ship joined the battle. After her capture, she had been studied, interrogated, and gravely underestimated. The Corvins had failed to understand human adaptability, had not considered that their prisoner might comprehend their technology through observation alone. When the disruption of the main fleet had caused security systems to fail throughout their network, Elena had seized her opportunity, escaping custody and stealing a scout vessel. More than that, she brought with her intimate knowledge of Corvin systems and weaknesses. Their command structure is hierarchical and rigid, she explained during a brief strategy session. Disrupt the flagship, and the entire fleet will be thrown into disarray. With Elena's intelligence and Thomas's disruptor technology, Earth's forces mounted a precision strike against the Corvin command vessel. Elena herself led the attack, her stolen ship bypassing defenses that would have stopped any human craft. The battle for the flagship was brutal but brief. Elena's knowledge of Corvin ship design proved decisive, allowing Earth's forces to target crucial systems with surgical precision. When the Corvin flagship finally fell dark, the effect on the remaining fleet was immediate and dramatic. Without central coordination, their perfect formation collapsed into chaos. Some vessels retreated, while others fought on with diminishing effectiveness. In the aftermath, as Earth began the long process of recovery, Elena and Thomas stood together on an observation deck, watching the captured Corvin vessels being towed into orbit for study. They never understood us, Elena said quietly. They'd been conquering species for thousands of years, absorbing technology, but never facing real resistance. They couldn't comprehend that losing New Horizon would only make us fight harder. Their mistake was thinking technology alone determined superiority, Thomas agreed. They forgot that tools are only as good as the minds wielding them. First Observer Ketrall, now the highest-ranking Corvin prisoner, had requested an audience with the siblings. Under heavy guard, he was brought to the observation deck. You have accomplished what no species has in the history of the collective, the alien said, his translated voice conveying something like respect. Our databases contain 10,000 conquered civilizations, yet none predicted our weaknesses as you did. Humans are good at finding weaknesses, Elena replied, including our own. It makes us stronger. The collective will return, Ketrall warned. What you faced was merely an expansion fleet, not our full might. Thomas smiled. When they do, they'll find we've learned from you. Humanity doesn't just resist, we adapt. Next time, we'll be ready. As the defeated alien was led away, Elena turned back to the viewport, watching Earth shine blue and vibrant below them. Do you think they can change? She asked her brother. Learn to coexist rather than conquer. If they can't, Thomas replied, they'll discover that picking a fight with humanity was the worst mistake their collective ever made. The stars seemed brighter somehow as they stood together. Two humans who had faced the impossible and prevailed, not through overwhelming power, but through the uniquely human gifts of adaptation, innovation, and unyielding defiance. Humanity had faced its first interstellar threat and survived. And in doing so, they had served notice to the galaxy. Underestimate humans at your peril. The species that had crawled from the mud of a single world to touch the stars would not be easily conquered. The war was not over. But for the first time since the fall of New Horizon, the future held more promise than fear. Humanity would endure. Humanity would prevail. It was what they did best.